Hey everyone, today I will tackle the question, what happens if you run trade currency farming strategies in SSF? Is it fun? Is it useful? Is it SSF viable? And what are you getting out of it? In this episode I will tackle the Harbinger strategy. I'll cover the strategy, show some gameplay and of course the results. This is another easy strategy. Just get as many Harbingers in the map and buff them as much as possible and reap the rewards. Harbinger in SSF serves a purpose too though, but I will get to that. I did in this case not take this strategy from Maxroll or any other website. There's also, I feel, not that much variety in Harbinger farming. I've made a whole guide about Harbinger, which still holds up very well today. I will link that in the description. The only thing you need to be aware of is that the loot from Harbingers, meaning their currency shards, are not impacted by any item quantity or item rarity. However, the monsters they spawn, and they do spawn a bunch of rare monsters for example, are impacted by any modifier that would otherwise impact monsters, meaning basically all item modifiers, rarity, area modifiers, player modifiers, altars, the whole shebang. You're going to need a few things before you start. First, of course, Harbinger Scarabs. You can use Atlas passive nodes to target farm these, and the more Scarab nodes you have on the Atlas, plus the more leak mechanics that you block, the more Harbinger Scarabs you'll get. Red altars also have a chance to give Harbinger Scarabs as a reward. Running Harbinger without Scarabs is a waste of time in my opinion, and I don't say that lightly in SSF. Second, you'll need to have a fully unlocked Atlas Map Device, run a 10 Atlas Boss Maven invitation for the 5th slot and complete a tier 17 map for the 6th slot. For maps, I just ran tier 16s and some tier 16.5s. I wouldn't run this in tier 17s personally, as Harbinger loot isn't impacted by any of the map modifiers, so you're making this very hard for no reason. That means also chisels won't do much, so you can save those if you want. You don't need a strong build either, Harbingers are typically not very dangerous. This is still very straightforward. You add one of each Harbinger Scarab and then 2 regular Harbinger Scarabs. The drop distribution in my experience on the less common ones seem the same, so I typically have about the same number of these rarer Scarabs. The obelisks and regular Harby Scarabs are the most common, but I wouldn't really run this strategy with only those 2 Scarabs. It would also take a long time for less rewards. On the map device, you obviously put Harbinger. I'll post my Atlas tree in the description. I think there is a lot of flexibility you have with this, as the tree itself barely impacts the loot except of course the Harbinger nodes. That's why I take all of the Harbinger nodes, also all of the small ones. I think that goes without saying almost, it is the only way to buff their rewards. The rest of my tree is still maximum map modifiers, so the rares spawning from Harbinger give the most loot possible. I run red altars because I like those. I took strong boxes, which is debatable as you typically will see only one. You could add player power with shrines, but the thing is the clear speed isn't determined by your character in this strategy. It's determined by how long it takes the Harbingers to summon all of the monsters, so I felt strong boxes were fine. You can also pick something else. I think on Maxroll they pick the betrayal nodes for example. You have a lot of freedom to do whatever you want here. I just personally would not add stuff that increases map clearing time, as Harbingers already take a long time to do. I ran 100 tier 16 and tier 16.5 maps, as I had that many Scarabs. You can do this on many characters, but I chose my Devs of Occultist so I could just chill in the Harbinger packs and talk to chat while streaming and not mind so much how long these things take to run. Now the loot. This clearly isn't meant as an exact science, there are discords for that. This is more meant as an indication what you can expect if you run the strategy in a non-optimal form in solo self-found. Will it hold up, and would you be happy with this after running 100 tier 16 and tier 16.5 maps? As defines per hour is not a factor, it's really just about the loot in the end, so look if you're happy with this. So I collected all of the notable loot except for a few currencies that I already had plenty of, such as horizon orbs. You will get tons of those, they're just not in this tab. I put all of the loot in a quad tab, and what you're looking at is around 900 scarabs sorted by type. That's a lot of scarabs, about 9 scarabs per map. As Harbinger summons so many rare monsters which have a good chance to drop scarabs thanks to amplified artifacts on the Atlas, you do indeed get a lot of those scarabs. Strongboxes provide some scarabs as well, of course. Then there is the Harbinger currency. I only picked up shards from certain currencies like I mentioned. And for currencies like regal orbs, I only picked up the full stacks, so that is just one single orb, meaning that I didn't pick up any of the shards. What I got in total was 5.5 fracturing orbs, so that's quite a grind, 100 maps to get just 5.5. 335 annulment orbs, which should keep you warm for a while. 176 ancient orbs to ease that gambling addiction. 8 Harbinger orbs, not including shards. See my guide for how to use these. 32 exalted orbs, which I think in SSF is first of all very useful. Exalts are hard to get, but also quite consistent, about 1 exalt per 3 maps. That's not bad at all. Similarly, I found 32 regal orbs. I counted the number of tier 17 maps. This is simply from running maps, of course, but still, I got 21 of them, so 1 in 5 maps dropped tier 17 for me. These were not necessarily juicy maps that I ran, as the juice doesn't impact Harbinger currency. And that's it in terms of notable loot. This strategy is very helpful if you just want to farm some scarabs or specific currencies such as annulment orbs, exalted orbs, or even ancient orbs or horizon orbs. Fracturing orbs are still super rare, and in SSF not really needed this league thanks to the tree which shits out excellent fractured gear. If you are a crafter, however, or need annulls for something specific, just running a few Harbinger maps with these scarabs can get you a ton of those. The biggest downside for me is how long it takes to run these maps. Even with the Atlas passive nodes speeding up the spawn rate of Harbinger, it still takes a lot of time for Harbingers to spawn all of the monsters. My maps took on average about 4 minutes or so times 100 maps divided by 60, that is around 6.5 hours. There were indeed multiple streams where I'm farming this. The time investment therefore is significant. I would also say, due to the time, it is not the most fun thing to do, at least I think so. But then again, there is no need, of course, to run 100 maps. I just wanted to give you guys a good loot overview and a decent indication of the expected loot, so at least the data is somewhat reliable. Just 10 maps may get you all the materials you want, which feels very reasonable in solo self-found. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and sticking around to the end. Consider subscribing if you enjoy Path of Exile solo self-found content. Love you all. See you soon. Bye bye.